as high as the mercury on the thermometers. Who knows what might happen next as Australia take on Japan in Pool A. China back on the HSBC 7 series. They dominated the Challenger event last year, winning all 3 tournaments and then tore through the repechage in Monaco to book their spot in Paris. They are a team on the rise, full of confidence, full of fresh blood today as well. Lots of young athletes, and the same can be said of Australia, who have just about processed their heartbreak at the Olympic Games. Ousted in the semi-finals by an inspired Canada outfit, and then downed at the death by Spiff Cedric, whose compatriot Kat Roach is our referee for this one. They are the reigning champions, hunting a 5th straight title here in Dubai. This lot start with a bang. It is just what they do. Maddie Levi stalking that far touchline, wearing 12, the newly crowned World Rugby 7s Player of the Year, and wearing 10, 2 athletes inside her. Sandwiching her sister, Tegan Levi, is the new captain of Australia, Isabella Nasser. Charlotte Caslick stepping down for the season with all eyes on the LA Olympic Games. And it's the captain who gathers that spilt restart by China. Maddie Levi finding Tia Hines, and now this is Caslick playing the switch. Oh, it's worked really nicely. Look at the front football they've been afforded there via Soraya Paki. Caslick to Tegan Levi, to Nasser, to Maddie Levi. Surely not. Scores with 50% of her touches, 5-0. She's a phenomenon. Hines to Parky. Faith Nathan, try-scoring machine on this other touchline. They might be blooding some new athletes, Australia, but it's still a team sheet that reads like an all-stars. Turnover for China. Specifically, turnover for Zhen Wenyang. And their first foray over the halfway line into Australian territory, which is unfriendly, to put it mildly. They defend like tigers, this lot. Parky's tackle. Nathan stays on her feet, barking orders. Hines is there. Nasser shooting up in the midfield. There's a pair of Levi's. And the cutout pass. Oh, that is sweet. That is nice. Maddie Levi had to make that tackle and did so. And that is why they call Tegan Levi the pit bull. Turnover's good. Clamped over it. Ball extricated, and now with Caslick. It'll be interesting to see how the triple Olympian goes without the responsibilities of that captain's armband. Might it be liberating? Might it free her up a little? Freed up now is Faith Nathan. Ball under one arm, the other one pumping. And as though fired from a cannon, and with a little blown kiss to the camera, Faith Nathan gets Australia's title defence underway in Dubai with 2 minutes on the clock. No look. Nathan to Hines to Nathan. That is very nice. That is very nice indeed.
Time off. We need a ball out here.
Kick's a good one. 7-0.
Once he's off, I'll restart. Hit clock is still on. Time on.
Ireland are facing Fiji over on the other pitch. The
back
Fijians getting the first score in that one. I talked about inexperience. Take a look at the Fijiana squad for this competition. China also giving opportunities to a whole handful of youngsters, but Zhu Jinrong placing the ball backwards there is not one of them. She is experienced. World Cups. A whole glut of tries on the Challenger Series last year. Olympic Games, a pair of them. She's screaming for it now. a tall figure. Here she is. Oh, it just pops through her fingertips, flirting with the touchline. Nothing flirtatious about that from Nathan. She just slams into her. No pleasantries from Australia's sole try scorer so far in this one. But testament to their defence that China stick it to the boot of Yan Meilong, who's chasing down Kazlek, finds Maddie Levi. Sit back, people. Levi's got the ball. Levi's clear, and she will canter home. New season, new faces, new storylines. It's all change on the HSBC 7 series, but you can count on Maddie Levi to make defences look silly and stick another 5 on the Aussies' tally. Tries in Paris, a hat-trick by half-time of her opener, and 7 by the end of day 1. Her sister's not a bad kicker either, so it's 14-0 with a quarter of this one underway. Hines, Australia's hero in Madrid. Remember that touchline conversion to down the Black Ferns in the semi-finals? Well, her restart was pinpoint. Now it's the Levi's again. The footwork from Tegan, actually fooling herself for a moment. A knee on the turf. So Maisie with those feet. Flat ball from Kazlek. Now Australia warming to their task. Now Nathan with her brace. Took them just a couple of minutes to move through the gears, but make no mistake, they are a Rolls Royce of an outfit, and we're starting to see that now. Flag up. Tegan Levi does the honours, 21-0. And look at that, 9 of the last 12. We call them the queens of the desert because it's fun to say and it's a lovely expression, but they actually are. They reign supreme, and as I say that, the restart goes 9 metres.
It's gone 10.
Deemed to have eventually gone 10 on the bounce, so actually... hindsight's a lovely thing. We'll call that perfect from Hines. Nasser. Hines there in support over the breakdown. China keeping bodies on their feet. They need to because Australia are purring now. Hines really wound that one up. It's the flattest pass you'll see all day, and Maddie Levi doesn't need asking twice. She will score twice though. Right beneath the sticks.
There will be a restart.
Confirmation that we've got time for the restart.
There will be a restart.
New laws introduced to the Sevens game is that you have 45 seconds between dotting down a score and the restart being kicked. So long as there are 30 seconds remaining on the clock as the ball is touched down, which we get to watch again in glorious Technicolor, Maddie Levi's second score there, then we will have time for the restart. So,
everyone
an opportunity for Australia to twist the knife. And in this fascinating little battle between Maddie Levi and Faith Nathan, 2 tries apiece, wonder if one of them will bring up a first half hat-trick. Hines is playing these so short. China should have left that. It wasn't going 10. But to be fair to them, they do just want a chance to do something with the ball to show us what they're all about.
Ball's out.
Ball out. And in and over it is Kazlek. He wondered if she might just have extricated it from Chinese hands, but her pleas to the referee falling upon deaf ears. Oh, look at that step out on the far touchline. Zhu Yan.
Back up.
They are tough to contain, China. As we said, points perfect on the Challenger Series, 60 points. Won basically every single metric, and just a cakewalk all the way through the repechage as well to book their spots in a second Olympic Games, where they finished 6th too. So expect them to compete on the series this year. They've got core status and they will not relinquish it without an almighty fight. Mei Leng finds Zhu Yan. Back to Mei Leng. That looked a little bit forward, but referee didn't spot it.
Knock on.
In fact, perhaps it was
Half-time.
flat. Ball knocked on that occasion, and that brings about half-time in a very one-sided fixture. Australia, 4 tries, 2 for Nathan, 2 for Maddie Levi. Points perfect off the tee. 2 out of 5 restarts. Retained 1.5 rucks per try. And an 80% red zone conversion rate. They haven't missed a tackle. They've only conceded 1 penalty. It's an A+ first-term report for Tim Walsh's side, who can enjoy their half-time oranges, knowing that that is probably the game. As for China, it's just a case of getting their hands on the ball. Although, interestingly, they have made more passes than their opponents and more carries, so they are huffing and puffing. But to no avail. Not a single visit to the all-important red zone. Well, Kazakh might have handed the armband on to Nasser, but you can see what a massive leadership role she will retain within that golden circle. 2-time World Player of the Year and a fulcrum in Rio when Australia won that brilliant inaugural Olympic gold medal. She actually spoke really beautifully when Bella Nasser was named captain this week. She said, "I've watched her grow from a high school student to an incredible player, person and leader, and I cannot wait to support her in any way that I can this season."
Australia ready?
Generous, warm, and all of that leadership. What a boost it must be for Nasser. It's just cruising across the pitch in anticipation of this restart, to have someone like that behind her. And there they are, captains, past and present, but the ball knocked on this occasion. So,
11's over.
first starts to China. And there's an overlap. Ball out to the newly introduced Zhang Yutong. She's got Kazlik to beat. And how about the work rate of Charlotte Kazlik to get all the way coast to coast to effect that tackle. And in doing so, she has given Australia time to reset defensively, so they're well set for the forays of Gao Xiaoyang. This now Huya finding Du Shenrong. And again, hands on the ball for Yutong, but hurled from the field of play.
Okay. Line out.
This really is such a fortress. A fortress away from home for the Australians.
Sorry.
22 straight games.
Sub. Gold 10. Gold
Barring
5.
something extraordinary, it is going to be
Sub.
23.
5.
As Tim Walsh rings the changes, and a couple of notable
13.
ones to bring you here.
13.
Carly Henwood is on for her series debut wearing number 15. Wearing 13 is Heidi Dennis, a teenager, a Commonwealth Youth gold medalist, but amazing
Just
opportunity for her,
Hold
who made
the
her
gap.
debut on the series
Turn back
last year.
on.
And last but not least, in fact, perhaps most excitingly of all, wearing 11, Demi Hayes, former skipper returning from an ACL sustained last year. So good to have you back, Demi. Screaming for it now. Hands on ball. On her shoulder. Soraya Taki. On to Hines. Played every minute so far. Maddie Levi is there with eyes for a hat-trick. Just one to beat. Gets the fend away. See ya! We've seen them before. I suspect we will see them again, but Maddie Levi does not mess around with those handoffs, sending opponents to space. There's a sense of destiny about it when she gets her hands on the ball with an inch to work with. It never gets boring. We are watching a master of her craft and watching
Thanks.
a master of her craft looking by her lofty standards a little bit out of breath, but she's staying with us for now. Kick again sails over. 35-0.
Making a legal tackle, bent at the hips.
Restart regathered. So that's 3 that they've retained. Hayes searching for support, gets clattered by her own teammate, running through there. The head of steam was Carly Henwood. Kaslik now with it. Tegan Levi screaming for it on the inside. There's the switch to Parky. There's the pop pass. Tegan Levi will have a try to add to all of her kicks. It is precise and processional for Australia, and the try scorer, in fact, Heidi Dennis, the teenager, getting herself some HSBC 7 Series points, kicks her own for good measure. She was screaming for it inside Kaslik, but the captain was weaving a pattern slightly more intricate than just the ball inside, out to Parky, back to Kaslik, over the top.
And we need a ball.
It's really gorgeous stuff. 42-0 for Australia. The defending champions, not just here in Dubai, of course,
From China.
but also champions in Cape Town, and then the side that lifted the pot in
time's still
Madrid. A brilliant win at the grand final.
Okay, time back on.
9 of the last 12 finals at the Emirates Dubai7s. 22 straight matches won in this place. And the top try-scoring team in each of the last 4 editions of this competition. They're just that good. She is just that good. Maddie Levi spotting nobody home on the blind side. It's fine work from China to shut the door, but give up the penalty in the process.
Let's go, please. Let's go now.
15-metre pass, just the latest exploit. Oh, the volley there from Dennis. Oh, it sits up beautifully. That is a worldie. Australia potentially saving the best until last. Heidi Dennis has 2. Look at the footballing skills. Get this girl in the Matildas. That is so good. Flags stay down for the first time today. Australia with 47 points and plenty of time still to bring up the half century. Ruby Nicholas is on. She will get things back up and running. 1 minute 40 on the clock. China yet to land a blow.
It's gone 10. Yep. Mark's here. Quick soft. Mark's here. Outside. Right there. I need someone in the channel. I need someone in the channel. I need a defender.
It is hot, heavy going for Australia.
Option.
Warming to their task in more ways than one. Infringing that. So we will have a scrum with less than a minute on this one.
I don't
After
need you to
this,
yell at me.
we are
Okay.
diving into the men's action. Fiji, Spain taking to this pitch in just a moment's time, and we will have had a look at all 12 teams on the women's circuit. China, the only newbies who secured promotion in Madrid, but are finding on a hot and heavy 14 minutes that it is not easy against the big dogs of the circuit. She's not a big dog, she's a whippet, a greyhound, Ruby Nicholas. She's so quick. Scarcely introduced to the fields. The properly fast 20-year-old who made her debut in Hong Kong last year after getting the call from Tim Walsh as a teenager to come and replace the injured Heidi Dennis, said it was utterly surreal playing alongside Charlotte Caslick, who she called her own Michael Jordan. She's looking right at home on this stage. All the Aussies are. That was imposing, compelling. And the biggest score of the women's competition so far. Japan put 40 on Canada earlier, but Australia bring up the big 5-0 and hold China scoreless in doing so. Mark your cards. The reigning champions have arrived in Dubai, and they are looking hot to trot. Full time in this one. Demi Hayes returning from injury. Bella Nasser's captaincy off to a fine start. Maddie Levi with the fens and the speed and the physicality. Faith Nathan with a brace. Oh, it's good to be back.
Murphy Crow perhaps to come onto the field and make the difference.
As we go to half time. Quarterfinals. China get the win. They'll be pleased about that, and that'll give them some confidence as they go through to day 2 here at the Emirates Dubai7s.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. You are very welcome to the 7 Stadium in the desert in Dubai, where things are literally and metaphorically hotting up. We've whistled down our quarterfinalists this morning to the semi-finals in the women's competition, and it's time to start sifting the best of the rest as China and Fiji go head to toe for the first of these 9th placed semi-finals. As you can see, recent results very much favouring the Chinese, but they've only met once in recent times, and that was yesterday when there was a cagey affair between Fijiana and Lu Zhuan's side, just about edged by the newly promoted Core Series outfit by a narrow margin. This time last year, China weren't on the series. They were down in the Challenger competition where they were utterly dominant. The side to beat, 60 points out of a possible 60 points, winning all 3 tournaments, cruising through to Madrid for the promotion relegation playoff where they booked their spot, and then headed to the repechage in Monaco to head to their 2nd Olympic Games. Meanwhile, for Fijiana, it has been a pretty torrid Olympic cycle, one they are keen to put behind them. Gone are the heydays of Olympic silverware. This lot are in the process of a significant rebuild under interim head coach Timothy Volavola, whose charges are lining the tunnel now out on the second pitch beneath the blazing sunshine and before hillsides of gently burning fans in a whole assortment of fancy dress. We mentioned that they met yesterday, 7-10. China were leading at half-time, and they just about extended that to clinch a narrow 15-14 victory. Obviously, they didn't meet last year in Dubai. China were on the challenger. Fijiana busy, finishing 5th, beating Ireland with a stunning overtime performance to sew up what would go on to be their best performance on the series for 23-24. As you can tell from the fact that they are in these 9th place semi-finals, mixed performances to be desired in the pool stages. Fijiana trailing home in 4th without a single win, but actually a better points difference than the Chinese, who did get a victory, that sole result over Fijiana. In the middle for this one is our South African referee Zoe Nalda, who made her debut yesterday on the series, so a very special weekend for her too. Fijiana playing from left to right, historically having the wins, the results in this clash. But in recent time, it has been red one-way traffic. China had 4 of their all-time victories in this in the last 6 meetings. Fijiana's last win was in Langford in 2019.
Felicia. Okay, time on. Play.
Drills don't stick with the restart of Timothy Volavola's women. So China with the throw, and it is arcing and a little bit too ambitious, but also overly ambitious. The gather from Fijiana, so ball straight back with China, whose knock-on advantage has expired as Gao Xiaoyang, who made her debut this weekend, the teenager, takes contacts on the 22. Zheng Wenyan through the hands of He Ye, bouncing ball past its intended recipient of Zhu Yan. Covered a lot of width here, China. Only gathered a couple of metres. Drifting across on defensive details, Lavena Thabur, and there she is looking over her shoulder and celebrating as the turnover has won. The fine involvement and offset Fijiana. Look at the glut of bodies down the short side, but far too many to make use of. China not back 10, so they go again quickly. This is Vika Nakathia who affected the initial turnover. Not far to go from Fijiana, who've not really had to do anything to earn this field position, but can they capitalise after an error-strewn day one? Clamps down over the ball like a livid red limpet. It was one of Liu Zhuan's charges. And here they come now through the tall figure of Xiao Yang. She's an imposing physical presence, and she makes it felt. Zheng Wenyan flirting with the touchline. Hauled down by Ruth Arata Ketesi. They're intent on hammering this blindside China. They've done their homework. They know that that is where the vulnerabilities lie. And it will be try time for Du Jinrong. Nakathia looked tired there on the chase, gave up with hardly any ground covered whatsoever, which allowed an uninhibited run-in.
Oh, thank you.
Du Jinrong, who scored against Fiji yesterday, got a try on the board up against Ireland as well, and 17 on the Challenger Series last year. We should not be surprised. Only the prolific Zhao Qian, her teammate, and Blondiot, Cécile Blondiot of Belgium, outscored the flyer. Well, the early signs are ominous. That's what's left in Fijian legs out there. Restart taken cleanly by Elisapeth Delaiwa, who made her debut at the Olympic Games this summer in Paris, one of 3 Olympians in this very inexperienced squad. Adimariani Rongosao there, police officer, could only watch as the ball ricocheted off her boot and towards the stands.
Stay with the mark. Okay.
Another debutant, Kang Cheng Tian, gets the newly promoted outfit back up and running, and it's all just messy stuff out there at the moment. Perhaps some tired bodies. It is roastingly hot. Yan Meiling, one of the arch orchestrators of this side, and that's just what she can do. Linking up beautifully to Du Jinrong, and then out on the wing was Gao Xiaoyang. And we applaud China all the time for their fitness, for their work rate. They are relentless and epitomised there in the hustle of their number 77 to work her way coast to coast and pop up for an easy dot down.
Fiji, move! Fiji!
Fijiana watching on, trailing by 12. We haven't seen them with hands on the ball. Well, their target, Bola Bola said, who was promoted from an assistant role over the summer, was to finish 8th in Dubai, or rather in the top 8. So they will have fallen short of that. But they're still 9th, up for grabs. Just 12 points in it. Their men's side hauled in by France by a similar margin just an hour ago. Things go by so quickly, in a flash in the sevens format of the game, so they can go chasing this with complete belief in their abilities. They'll face the winner of Spain up against Brazil, which is up next, if they can do it. Ball knocked on. Not gathered again by Rongosao. He's not having an easy time of it today. We should give a little bit of leeway to this Fijiana outfit. They are so inexperienced. Just 4 of the travelling 13 with previous series experience. 81 combined events across the 2 of them. By all accounts, most of the experienced crew from last season were asked to return, but many declined.
Sit!
Bola Bola keen to stress in the week that for many of these athletes, it's their first time overseas. So recovery, jet lag, all of those things completely alien. They are handling a lot, and right now they've got their hands full with the Chinese side hunting for a 3rd score as we head towards half-time. Look at the footwork. Dainty but devastating from Du Jinrong, who's got her 2nd of the fixture, her 5th in Dubai.
Kat, I think the clock is wrong because it stopped on 50. Was that the hooter for here?
She just reads that so well, reacts in the blink of an eye to the little gap that opened up in the black and white defensive wall before her. Didn't need a second invitation, scooting through. Kicks a good one. So 19 plays nil at half-time. Fijiana need to get their hands on the ball and fast. China, the new kids on the block after dominating the challenger last year. Their only loss in that campaign was to Kenya in their opener right here in Dubai. Electric and efficient in attack, accurate in defence, but the core status, the HSBC 7 series, is an entirely different kettle of fish. These are the upper echelons of the sport. Rarefied air they find themselves in. And an entirely new experience for so many of this side. These two met in the group stages in Paris at the Olympics, where it all went horribly wrong for Fijiana. It was China who triumphed on that occasion. A record score put on their opponents. And then they could do no better once they got to the playoffs. A loss against Brazil, followed by one against South Africa. 12th off the back of the heady days of a bronze in Tokyo, where they really were the story of the championship. But again, inspired by their men earlier against France, what confidence can they take? Lessons being learnt all over the park. Fijiana there, giving a little course in why you shouldn't let a rugby ball bounce, because even though they've won the penalty, they've got to play out of their 22. And look at the freshness of the Chinese athletes backpedaling before them. Orders being barked by the experienced figure of Sun Yue, who's out there on the wing. It's the debutant there who makes the tackle, Zhao Yang. 3 tries and counting for her first time on the 7 series.
That's from China.
Offload doesn't find its target, but it does find the boot of Delaiwa.
White.
Knocked on. China all feed. Ruth Rakatakete with the carry there, just losing control of it. She's no stranger to finding herself in the deep end, Ruth. Made her rugby league debut, having trained for just 4 weeks in the code. In 2022 as the captain of a Fijian schools team against a touring Australia side. Plays her club rugby for the New Zealand Cavaliers, along with Caitlin Vaha Kolo. She's been pulling up trees on debut with the Black Ferns. To China, what can they do here? Hunting for a fourth. There looked to be a bit of confusion there. Expecting the switch was Kang Cheng Tian. And in that confusion, in their eagerness to recycle the ball, they have now knocked it on. So Fiji will pack down in this scorching heat. And again, look to extricate themselves from their own 22, where they have spent the bulk of this match.
Subs, number 8.
Almost as many passes as the Chinese. 21 plays 25, but not a point registered. And they have missed 5 of their 13 tackles. Whilst their opponents today, 8 from 8. Much to improve upon. But the brilliant thing about 7s is they will go again in a couple of hours. They can regroup, they can re-strategize, they can tighten some nuts and bolts. And then we will see them again in Cape Town next weekend, where the circus travels onwards.
Sit!
And it's a brand new day.
Straight on from China.
China boring down at the scrum, so Fijiana with the free hit that they take quickly. Vika Nakathia, she has been a find this weekend in Dubai. The 25-year-old from Yasawa. Pair of tries already and so many bright involvements. Chasing back for this one. Farani Sasek Koro, but turned over by a Zhao Yang, who is waiting for nobody. There's the dummy, grabbed. A desperate tackle coming in from Delaiwa, but not releasing. So China going quickly, 3 on 2. There's the strength, there's the grounding. Yan Meilung, the double Olympian, bringing all of that experience to the fore.
Fiji out the way.
The experienced in this very green group that Lu Juan has brought to the opening 2 stops of their return to the series. 9 events she's played. She always makes her presence known. Been to a World Cup of 7s, been to 2 of them in fact, been to a pair of games. 6 tries on the Challenger Series last year and another one here. Back mixing it with the big dogs and punishing Fijian inaccuracy. End over end, that one skittles. It does so again because the pass doesn't find its intended owner. There's the switch, lovely bit of footwork. There's just a glimpse of what these women can do when they get their drills right and they get themselves a little bit of space. Lavena Thavuru there with the footwork. This feels like the most cohesive passage of play we've seen yet from Fijiana as it's hurled to the width by Delaiwau. Big carry, beautiful offload out the back door. This is so much better as Xian Yutong makes a high tackle.
Time off. TMO check.
It's been an injury and our TMO will have a look at the shot.
TMO check. I want to check potential serious foul play.
As Lu Juan sends on a trio of reinforcements. Xian Yutong, Wang Shui Min. Onto the field. And here's the hit. And there's the shot. We're going to see it a few more times. Offload was a thing of beauty.
Play by number 20 red. There is contact to the head with a low degree of danger. Therefore, recommendation yellow card.
So did you say number 20?
20 red, yellow card.
20 red.
Zhu Yan, 26-year-old, who's been in and out of this Chinese side over the last few years, will spend 2 minutes watching on.
Thank you so much.
White plastic naughty step down below our commentary gantry.
Time on.
All the seats opposite our gantry occupied. There's a bar across from us. There's been live music. There's been all sorts. Plenty for fans to enjoy if they fancy a break from the rugby. But why would you? It has been so enthralling. And now Fijiana looking to capitalise on the player advantage. A ridiculous around the world there on the tumble from Rongosao.
Knock on.
But they're knocked on. If she had managed to hold onto this, it would have been utterly exquisite. Look at that, round the back of both shoulders, across the sternum. Yeah, some good hands from everybody involved in that until the knock-on. China will look to get this in and out as swiftly as possible. The win is theirs. They will be able to say that 5 of their all-time victories in this fixture have come in their last 7 meetings with Fijiana.
Pushing before the ball is in.
The tables have turned in this particular contest.
Before the ball is in.
The Pacific Islanders
You can't take
are
a scrum
no
from a free
longer
kick.
the
No
favourites.
scrum from free kick. Thank you. Off the foot.
No one's told China that the clock's up, and if they want, they can kick this from the field and go and have an ice lolly. Still playing. Hunting for what would be a 5th score here. What an emphatic march into the 9th place playoff this will be. On the deck. Bit of a cat-cow there, and then up to her feet, accelerating powerfully, keeping the ball alive with a moment of sorcery. Here is Wang Zhaojing, dancing her way upfield, up to the 10-metre line, where Fijiana have turned it over Now this lot have no interest in getting the ball off the field. There is pride to salvage here. It takes some doing to nil Fijiana, and with that, they will get themselves, haul themselves off the rope, and at last register a score through Lavena Savuru. All of the guile and the composure to sell the dummy.
Thank you.
Taking that penalty and driving it home for the full 7 points. It was Fijiana who won the second half, but it is China who win the match, and they will head through to meet either the winner of Spain or Brazil, with 9th on the line in their return to the big time. 4 tries: Yan Mei-ling, Jin Rong and Xiao Yang. Fijiana with plenty to ponder, this young side. Shorn of so many of their stalwarts, with a new and interim head coach travelling overseas for the first time. Now spinning a lot of plates. With one match ahead of them. One final opportunity to leave with a victory, which is exactly what the women in scarlet have sewn up here. We mentioned that China triumphed on the Challenger Series and then got the win to get themselves back up on the main series with core status. Well, this second semi-final is a battle of two sides who also survived the playoffs.
Swinging to the 9th place playoffs, first of all, in the women's competition between China and Brazil. China returning to the World Series this season. A team a couple of years ago, back on the side, and now Brazil, the opponents in this 9th place match. China so far, they suffered a heavy defeat first up, but bounced back really, really well.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you very much. We've just got a couple of seconds to wait. That's all right, mate. Take your time. We're just waiting.
Definitely a referee in charge of this one.
Okay, great. Ready?
So it is Brazil to get us underway in the 9th place women's playoff. Brazil in the white, China in red. That one's curling back in the wind. Has been breezy here in Dubai all weekend, but that one really got caught. It gives China possession on halfway. Really unfortunate for Mariana Nicolau. Not a lot she can do about that. When she got good contact on the ball. So it'll be China that gets the first chance to attack with possession. Yeah, here on field 2. Cast TV, thanks for joining us for this one. It's Yan Mei-ling, the Chinese captain, really strong leader of this Chinese team. Takes the ball forward. On a well-drilled side. The middle they go. Ball control. And a penalty goes China's way. Really getting a chance to roll on, player down and back play for Brazil. So there's only 6 in the defensive line at the moment. It's a good tackle made by Nicolau once more, but China's surging forward into Brazil's half for the first time. Now, Again, still Brazil defending with 6 players. Someone's going to have to make some big double efforts here as Du Jinrong, one of the key players, one of the Olympians in this Chinese side, which is missing a few of those Olympians, comes forward again up to the 22. Comes China again, long passage of play, keeping the ball in hand, keeping the ball alive phase after phase. Brazil hustling hard in defence, and now Jinrong again. Du Jinrong goes really close to the line without quite getting there. Pick and go from Jiang Yutong, crashes over the line but held up. That is some defence from Brazil. Only 6 players all the way black. Maybe Marina Fioravanti down in back plate. We'll check in a moment, but boy, this is hearty defence from the Brazilians.
Yep, time off. We'll wait for both.
Scrum right on their own goal line. They're still
Yep, we'll wait for both players.
Fioravanti very slowly getting to her feet, shaking out her left arm.
We're waiting.
She's going to come to the side, in fact. Yeah, just not quite right.
Your ball.
Really awkward. It's a neck and shoulder area. So Fioravanti will come to the side. She's the real defensive workhorse
Changes
in
made. Okay.
this Brazilian
Fair ball.
team.
Held up. Fair ball.
It is Mariana Nicolau also getting some running repairs as well. So they're in the wars, the Brazilians, early. Brazil under their new coach Crystal Kawa taking over from Will Broderick, who just turned them into such a competitive unit, did such a good job with them.
If it's held up in goal, it's their stop. Oh, okay.
Yes, Bianca Silva just checking on the
ready?
rule.
We need to
That's
start.
16 passes. That's China early on.
She's good now?
Key to
Thank you.
their success last season in the Challenge season. Brazil have not had the ball in their hands at the moment.
All right, thank you for waiting, ladies. Wait for the ball and push square. Time on. Crouch!
So
Bind!
scrum feed for China. Balls held up over the line. So a 5 metre scrum goes China's way. Danger not over for Brazil after that early defensive passage. It's an awkward feed to the scrum, but away comes China with an awkward pass as well for Zheng Wanyan. Dragged to the ground, just lost a little bit of ground, and now physical stuff from Brazil. Really good physical stuff. Now they can release the flyers. Bianca Silva couldn't quite get away, and the bouncing ball lands for China again. It's Gao Xiaoyang, and now Du Jinrong, who's got great top end speed. Oh, Brazil did the hard physical work. Ball bounce didn't go their way, and it's China who opened the scoring with Du Jinrong.
So just a half time, please, mate. Yep.
That was a critical tackle made by Zhu Yan on Bianca Silva. If Silva had got through that gap, she was gone. And if not, she was gone. She had Costa outside trying to pounce on the mistake. Good try scoring
keep an eye on
for
that clock for me. Thank you.
the Chinese, who scored points aplenty in the Challenger Series last season. They had a 414 points difference their favour from the 3 Challenger Series events. They've got the lead here in the 9th place playoffs in their return to the World Series, and they've got the ball as well.
Your shoulders need to be square.
Okay.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Ball comes in and out as China set the scrum and look to launch their attack again with one try. Good hit though. Really good hit made by Brazil, and now they can turn defence and attack as Silva takes the gap, and she is lightning. Bianca Silva really stepping up in leadership as well, and it's Silva who gets one back for Brazil. This time it's the Yaras capitalising on the mistakes of China. Good initial hit came on. from Brazil. And way too much room. Bianca Silva's going to take that every time. Such a lethal double threat, isn't it? Costa and Silva. Brazil's 2 all-time leading try scorers as Raquel Cochan sends the kick-off away, and it's in fact come off a Chinese player.
Behind the mark! Behind the mark!
So Brazil will get to throw this line out. Effectively pass it in. Now here's Costa. First real touch for Talia Costa. Like to try and back herself around the outside, but good tackle made by Chen. Now in the middle for Brazil is Leila Silva. She was the one who made that good tackle to dislodge the ball earlier. They get a penalty here. Do Brazil, and away comes Isadora Lopez clattering into the Chinese defence. Hokan or Nicolau. Powerhouse in the middle. China's defence on point at the moment. And all over that one. Great work over the ball from China. Again, it was Du Jinrong. They are without many of their Olympic starters here, China, but Du is one of those regulars, as is this woman here, Yan Mei Long, the captain. Now Brazil's turn to win it back. It's Leila Silva again, in the thick of the defensive action.
Scrum.
Really good work from the number 4. Here's the initial ball for Yan Mei Long, but just great low body position, spread of the legs of Leila Silva.
Set.
Here goes Costa, the absolute flyer. Foot race, keeping with her, but round the outside, Talia Costa. She is a special player for Brazil, and she's given them a good advantage going into half-time. Try number 93 for her career. No doubt we're going to see her bring up 100 this season. I am sure of that. And that's a great strike from Talia Costa. Conversion will stay wide, but Brazil, after going behind early, jump in front at half-time in the 9th place final. It is Brazil leading China 12 points to 5. Brazil, Raquel Cochan is laying down the instructions to her team. What a woman she is, backbone of Brazilian rugby for the best part of a decade now, let alone her remarkable off-field story. Ruptured her ACL in Toulouse in 2022, and while she was undergoing that treatment, discovered that she had breast cancer, trained through chemotherapy. That cancer now is dormant, it's under control, but she still continues treatment. A 3-time Olympian, has helped Brazil qualify for the Women's Rugby World Cup for the first ever time and carried the flag for them at the Paris Olympic Games. And not to mention the Mohawk. She is some player and some woman, Raquel Cochan for Brazil.
Thank you very much. Ready?
So China now chasing this game and get us underway in the second half of the 9th place playoff. Sheng Wenyan, and that's going to sky off the boot. And again, she didn't make the same sort of contact, but the wind had a say as well. So back that ball curls. Brazil will get the tap on halfway. First chance to strike in the second half. Had a couple of quarterfinals last season to Brazil, a team that has built over the last few years, and this player's been a big part of that. Yasmin Suarez adds really good impact to them off the bench. Happy little half. Now Isadora Lopez, little missed out on the Olympic squad, did the number 6, but had a good weekend here. I'll concede possession though.
Holding.
Will China, and the captain Yan Mei Lung will want to get on with things. Lopez trying to get herself back on side, so still playing advantage of the referee from the penalty, and now the ball up through the middle for Kang Chiang Tian. China onto the attack. Yan Mei Lung. Now Chen Xiang. Ball in two hands out in front. Nice early ball too, but good covering defence by Kokan onto Zhu Yan. China just 5 metres out now, looking to tie this match up or get back into it at the very least. Big, wide, crisp pass, lovely pass. Lands on the chest of Gao Xiaoyang. Fabulous skill from China and an excellent, well-crafted try.
Brazil.
As one of the debutantes, Kang, with that ball to another, the 19-year-old Gao Xiaoyang. Chance to convert this try will stay away, so it's still Brazil with a narrow advantage, 12 points to 10, just under 5 to play. Oh, she's timed out on the kick too long, so it's the new rule in action. Once the ball is dotted down for the try, the team has got 45 seconds to take the conversion and then get the restart going. And China has took a moment too long, and that will hand possession back to Brazil. It's up to teams how they use that 45 seconds. They can take 10 seconds for the conversion and 35 for the restart, or vice versa, or not take the conversion at all. Give themselves more time on a restart. But anyway, China fluff their lines after that one, and it allows Brazil possession again. Kokan. They come for Leila Silva. And now Costa working on the switch with Silva, dancing her way through the Chinese line. Leila Silva. Kokan looks to go up the middle, and it's going to say put the foot on the boot as well, on the ball rather, and allow Costa to fly down on it. Look at the chase from Talia Costa, the absolute speedster, the heads up, the eyes up from Kokan. Saw it from a mile out, got the bounce as well, and a smile a mile wide too. Great work from Brazil and Costa. Kokan doesn't mind a little kick in behind or try a few little options, and that one was absolutely pinpoint, lofted over the top, bouncing its way, the perfect roll, and then there is no accounting for the speed of Talia Costa to bear down on that one, getting her second of the match and extending Brazil's lead 17 points to 10.
Okay, thank you very much. So time's on now, you've got 8 seconds.
Kokan lofts this kick off high, but well taken, and then a penalty that's taken in the air, yeah. And probably going to be a yellow card. It was pretty poor timing from Camilla Cavallo. He's got that wrong.
In the air.
So now Brazil down to 6. Again. Huang Xiaojing underneath her. Yeah, that's an uncomfortable landing.
Mark's here, please.
China with the one player overlap, one player advantage rather, 7 on 6. Really good chance to strike here and then make it for a very interesting final 2 minutes in this 9th place playoff. China's return to the World
Backwards.
Series. Winning the Challenger Series, it's gone
Number 15
backwards.
didn't have the ball.
Tackle off the ball. So a couple of penalties compounding here for Brazil.
Scrum.
China opting for the scrum, but Yameling wants them to hurry up and get to that scrum. Bit of hustle the skipper wants.
Time off. 6. Yep. Time's off. Number 6. Yep.
Isadora Lopez is going to head off. Mariana Nicolau back out onto the fray. And you just heard referee. I heard a classic on ref from the Chinese captain there, but made sure that time is
on.
off.
Crouch. Bind. Set. No,
Has
stand up,
really
stand
so
up.
this is
Stand
soaking up time
off.
on the sin bin though too.
Okay. Both players, you can't strike before the ball's in, okay? Wait for the ball. Okay? And I'll speak to her too. You need to feed it in as soon as the scrum's stable. Okay. Square shoulders. Okay. Time on. Crouch. Bind.
Even though time
Set.
off has been called a couple of times, it has eaten up that clock, and particularly with Brazil down to 6, but China busting across. Great tackle though on Sun from Kokan. So Brazil's defence in the first half was hearty. Needs to be just as staunch here, otherwise China will well and truly get a sniff of pinching this match.
Tackle.
Yan Meilin playing in front of their own goalposts. The Chinese now running back away, and Kang Tian. She's got good speed, and that's a good pass, and this one has got pace too. Dershin wrong. White jerseys come flying across to the Brazilians as China look to stretch edge to edge. They've gone sideline to sideline, almost busting through the middle. There's the hole, and there's going to be chance here for Sun Yu to score under the post. A chance for China to tie it up in the dying 20 seconds. Going to quickly try and convert her own try, which she does. So 17 all with a few seconds. Time for a restart here. Time for someone to win it.
Okay. Time off.
Well worked try.
Thank you.
Brazil still had 6 players on the field. They're back to 7 now. Got the full complement for one final play. Otherwise, we're going to golden point extra time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Time's on.
First job, execute this kick. It's going to be down in hand possession to Brazil, and it's gone to Talia Costa. That's just who Brazil want the ball in the hands of. Nicolau spreads it across Silva. Here's Suarez. Silva, Layla Silva, that is. Gabby Lima out there as well, Gabriela Lima. She's got real pace, and she's not afraid to back it as well, but taking in a good tackle.
Keep coming.
Still in normal time, haven't gone to golden point yet, but Brazil have got 95 metres to get there. Here goes Talita Costa, and now she's going to try and release her twin. Can she? She can! And here goes Talia Costa. Shut the gate, because here's the win for Brazil. The Costa twins combine to win it at the death. Just the strike they were looking for. Family ties that bind, and a great win for Brazil. And it is their key woman, Talia Costa. Time and time again, she does it for them and gets another hat-trick in this match, and that third one the most important. Talita shrugged off that first tackle, got the arms free, and then just pure grit and determination from her sister.
Yeah, got you.
Slams it down. Really nice moment for Brazil and for the twins. Great finish, a hat-trick for Talita Costa. 95, I said she's going to make 100 this season. Well, she might make it next week in Cape Town. 24 points to 17. Brazil over China to take the 9th place playoff.